2. 2 is a number, numeral, and digit. It is the natural number following 1 and preceding 3. It is the smallest and only even prime number. Because it forms the basis of a duality, it has religious and spiritual significance in many cultures. Evolution. Arabic digit. The digit used in the modern Western world to represent the number 2 traces its roots back to the Indic Brahmic script, where 2 was written as 2 horizontal lines. The modern Chinese and Japanese languages still use this method. The Gupta script rotated the 2 lines 45 degrees, making them diagonal. In the Nagari script, the top line was written more like a curve connecting to the bottom line. In the Arabic Gubar writing, the bottom line was completely vertical, and the digit looked like a dotless closing question mark, restoring the bottom line to its original horizontal position, but keeping the top line as a curve that connects to the bottom line leads to our modern digit. In fonts with text figures, digit 2 usually is of X height. For example,
Wow.
etymology of 2. The word 2 is derived from the Old English words toi, feminine, two, neuter, and twain, masculine, which survives today in the form twain. The pronunciation 2, like that of who, is due to the labelization of the vowel by the W, compare from womb, which then disappeared before the related sound. The successive stages of pronunciation for the Old English toi would thus be toi, twa, two, twu, and finally, two. In mathematics, an integer is called even if it is divisible by 2. For integers written in a numeral system based on an even number, such as decimal, hexadecimal, or in any other base that is even, divisibility by 2 is easily tested by merely looking at the last digit. If it is even, then the whole number is even. In particular, when written in the decimal system, all multiples of 2 will end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. 2 is the smallest prime number, and the only even prime number. For this reason, it is sometimes called the oddest prime. The next prime is 3. 2 and 3 are the only 2 consecutive prime numbers. 2 is the first Sophie German prime, the first factorial prime, the first Lucas prime, and the first Ramanujan prime. 2 is a pronic number and the only pronic prime. 2 is the third, or fourth, Fibonacci number. 2 is the base of the binary system, the numeral system with the fewest tokens that allows denoting a natural number n substantially more concisely, with log 2n tokens, than a direct representation by the corresponding count of a single token with n tokens. This binary number system is used extensively in computing. For any number x, x plus x equals 2 times x, addition to multiplication. X times x equals x squared, multiplication, to exponentiation. X to the x equals x up arrow 2, exponentiation, to tetration. Extending this sequence of operations by introducing the notion of hyperoperations, here denoted by hyper A, B, C, with A and C being the first and second operand, and B being the level in the above sketch sequence of operations. The following holds in general. Hyper x in x equals hyper x n plus 1, 2. 2 has therefore the unique property that 2 plus 2 equals 2 times 2 equals 2 squared equals 2 up arrow 2 equals 2 up arrow 2 equals ellipses. Disregarding the level of the hyperoperation, here denoted by Knuth's up arrow notation, the number of up arrows refers to the level of the hyperoperation. 2 is the only number x such that the sum of the reciprocals of the natural powers of x equals itself. In symbols, the sum of k equals 0 to infinity 1 over 2 to the k equals 1 plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4 plus equals 2. This comes from the fact that powers of 2 are central to the concept of Mersenne primes and important to computer science. 2 is the first Mersenne prime exponent. Taking the square root of a number is such a common mathematical operation that the spot on the root sign where the index would normally be written for cubic and other roots may simply be left blank for square roots, as it is tacitly understood. The square root of 2 was the first known irrational number. The smallest field has 2 elements. In a set theoretical construction of the natural numbers, 2 is identified with the set. This latter set is important in category theory. It is a sub-object classifier in the category of sets. 2 also has the unique property such that for a not equal to 0, in any n-dimensional Euclidean space, 2 distinct points determine a line. In 2 dimensions, a diagon is a polygon with 2 sides or edges and 2 vertices. On a circle, it is a tessellation with 2 antipodal points and 180-degree arc edges. For any polyhedron homeomorphic to a sphere, the Euler characteristic is x equals v minus e plus f equals 2, where v is the number of vertices, e is the number of edges, and f is the number of faces. In science, the number of polynucleotide strands in a DNA double helix. The first magic number. The atomic number of helium. The ASCII code of start of text. 2 Pallas, a large asteroid in the main belt and the second asteroid ever to be discovered. The Roman numeral 2 usually stands for the second discovered satellite of a planet or minor planet. A binary star is a stellar system consisting of 2 stars orbiting around their center of mass. The number of brain and cerebellar hemispheres. In sports, the number of points scored on a safety in American football. A field goal inside the 3-point line is worth 2 points in basketball. The 2 in basketball is called the shooting guard. 2 represents the catcher position in baseball. Other. In pre-1972 Indonesian Malay orthography, 2 was shorthand for the reduplication that reforms plurals orang person, orang, or orang squared, people. In astrology, Taurus is the second sign of the zodiac. For Pythagorean numerology, a pseudoscience, the number 2 represents duality, the positive and negative poles that come into balance and seek harmony. International Maritime Pennant for 2. International Maritime Signal Flag for 2. See also List of highways, number 2.